degrees of freedom is one of the most important concepts in kinematics. Which means, how many variables are required to determine position of a mechanism in space. Position of this 4-bar mechanism could be determined just by knowing angle or position of one of the member. So degree of freedom is 1. Similarly, degree of freedom of this cam and follower mechanism is also 1. But to determine position of the slider crank mechanism, we should know angle or displacement of at least 2 members. So here degrees of freedom is 2. In this video we will learn how to predict degrees of freedom of a mechanism. Consider this rigid body in space. It could have 3 translatory motions like this. Also it could have 3 rotary motions like this. In total we need 6 inputs to determine its position. So, degree of freedom of rigid body in space is 6. If the body is in a plane, it can have only 3 motions. 2 translational and 1 rotational. So degree of freedom of a rigid body in a plane is 3. Now, consider this planar mechanism. A mechanism is a collection of rigid bodies, or links, connected through pairs, provided one link is grounded. If the system were not connected like this, then each link, except the ground, would have 3 degrees of freedom. So total degrees of freedom, or mobility, is 3 into n-1. N represents total number of links, in this case 3. But when we connect it together, through pairs, links will not have the same 3 degrees of freedom. If joint between 2 links is having surface contact, like this joint, then both the links will have same translatory motion, in x and y directions. So, for each such pairs, there will be a deduction of 2 mobility from the total, where LP represents number of pairs with surface contacts. Such pairs are called lower pairs. In this case we have 2 lower pairs. Now consider this joint, which is having a line contact. If joint between 2 links is having line, or point contact, both the links should have same translational motion, along the common normal. However, it could have different motion, in tangential direction. So, for each such pairs, there will be deduction of 1 mobility from the total. This kind of pair is called higher pair. Here we have got 1 higher pair. So this mechanism has got 1 degree of freedom. Means, by knowing position of only 1 cam, we can completely determine this mechanism. So this is the equation to find out degree of freedom of a planar mechanism, known as Kuthbach equation. Back to same old planar mechanisms. This mechanism is having 4 links, and 3 lower pairs. So mobility is 1. Cam and follower is having 3 links, 2 lower pairs, and 1 higher pair. So mobility is again 1. This mechanism is having 5 links, and 5 lower pairs. So mobility is 2. If the mechanism is 3-dimensional in nature, you could easily derive an equation for mobility, using the same concept. The main thing here will be determination of nature of pair. To know about velocity analysis of a mechanism, check next video. Thank you.